Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Just a Dude Podcast. I appreciate y'all for being here and for your support. I really do appreciate y'all for watching my series, watching my Let's Plays, and supporting my YouTube. I really do appreciate it because it helps me. It helps me immensely as I walk down this line and journey to become a content creator. And it blows me away just how much kindness I have seen throughout this journey. And I am utterly grateful and thankful to all the wonderful people that I have met through content creation. And honestly, it's something that has helped me evolve my content over time as I continue down this road. You know, my podcast is going to evolve further and further, going to involve more probably lore-based story time. There's going to be more and more segments that I might be adding here and there, and just more of a chance for me to put myself out there on the internet so that y'all can see who I am, you know? Because it's part of being a content creator. And one thing that, for any of y'all out there that want to get into this content creation game, this is something I encourage wholly and fully to anybody who wants to do this. Be yourself. And I know you hear that a lot, and I know that is a very a very cliche thing to say, but when you think about it, when it comes down to it, it is the most quintessential thing that will gain you some semblance of success. Because one thing that's hard to do in this content creation game is to stand out. And the best way to stand out is to be yourself. Because you, my friend, are unique. All of y'all. In your own way. In your own amazing way. And you know what? If you can showcase that to the world, why not? Because the world deserves to see it. You know? So don't ever think that just because somebody told you can't do it doesn't means that that's the definite answer. No. You got to experience it. You got to try it. You got to move forward and see what life has for you. No matter what anybody says, no matter what may come your way. Because the path is yours to make. The story is yours to write. My friend, it's your life to live. Don't you ever forget that, alright? Alright. So a couple of other things that I do want to talk about. So I did release my very first storytelling video on my YouTube channel, which was based around the tiger and the dragon. And it is a very old story. And I'm actually going to be working on my next storytelling segment, which I'm not sure. It may be a monthly release so that I can actually spend time on the editing, because it took a little bit of time to get the editing done for my first storytelling video, and I have actually really enjoyed the way that it came out. I'm pretty proud of it, though it doesn't have any visual aspects to it, which I have had a lot of trouble finding and procuring visuals for my storytelling video. And I might be just doing it myself, but it's a matter of whether or not I can get a quality visual for that storytelling video. Now, the next storytelling video will be based around what is known as the rise of the Sixth Kingdom. For in the first video, in the story of the tiger and the dragon, we spoke about the rise of the Fifth Kingdom, the kingdom of mankind. The Sixth Kingdom will rise within the next story, and hopefully y'all will enjoy. And of course, I do plan on doing lore videos. I might incorporate those lore bits to my podcast. I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm still making that decision, but we'll see in the future what that may hold for me. Now, that's all that's going on with me at the moment. As it stands, I've been working on trying to get more of my I have my Let's Play schedule set now. You know, I have my first look videos on Mondays. Tuesdays are my Digimon Survive videos. Wednesdays are my Star Wars Fallen Order videos. And Thursdays are my Zelda videos. And then, of course, Fridays will be my podcast. And I was planning on making the storytelling video the next part of that cycle, but depending on how long it takes me to edit my next storytelling video, that might just end up being a monthly thing, and I will have something in place to post on Fridays when I'm not posting an episode of my Just a Dude podcast, because that is a bi-weekly post. Every 2 weeks I'll post one. Either way. So let's get on into the first segment of this particular podcast, which is... And welcome to our very first segment, known as Game News, where we'll be talking about games that will be coming out in the next month, and the next month is June. And one of the interesting games that will be coming out in this next month of June is Grey Hill Incident, which is brought to you by Refugium Games, and will be released on all platforms on June 9th of 2023. This game takes place in the 90s and is a atmospheric, story-driven, horror-based game where you are a gentleman known as Ryan Baker. Armed with a baseball bat and a revolver and some bullets, you must traverse the neighborhood of Grey Hill as you are invaded by UFOs and little gray aliens. Let's check out the trailer for this game now.
Ryan, can you hear me?
I'm here. You need to wear a tinfoil hat. Your son Henry too. They go into your brains by telepathy.
Lunatics and conspiracy theorists claim to have seen a UFO. The minority tries to convince other people that the small green aliens are real.
The neighborhood watch takes care of it. It's Ryan's turn today. He will visit you tonight during his tour.
Hello! This is Ryan. I just wanted to check if everything is okay with you.
I was hiding under my bed, but they got Daddy.
Don't tell the policeman anything. Otherwise, we all end up in the psychiatric ward.
That seems like a long shot. But I guess it's our only option. But even if we do get close, how the hell are we gonna get inside of that thing?
No! No, Henry! Who knows what they're doing to him?
God, I hope they didn't start drilling into his teeth.
You great bastard. Get your fucking fingers out of my dirty ass!
Well, that looks like a very interesting game. If you're into eclectic horror type games, this is definitely going to be for you. I would definitely like to check it out, but, we'll see whether or not I get my hands on it. If I do, definitely going to do a first look Let's Play on this one, because it reminds me very much so of Roswell, and you know what? Those dead, soulless eyes in those gray men. Yeah, that's enough to send some shivers down your spine if they're just staring at you in the dark. Alrighty then, let's move on to the next game, shall we? Alrighty then, the next game that we're going to be talking about is Street Fighter 6. This is a franchise that is well known and well loved by anybody that's part of the fighting game community. I mean, the amount of crossovers that Ryu has had is insurmountable. When you think about it, he is probably one of the most well-known video game characters. And of course, this is brought to you by Capcom, and it will be released on all platforms on June 2nd of 2023. And of course, it will also be releasing 7 brand new fighting characters. Now let's check out the trailer for Street Fighter 6 now.
It started from the ground up, training getting wound up, channeling it in itself and moving up and down, crossing over, passing down on the time the clock and keep scoring. Years I never thought I'd cross before. When I get tired on my knees, I got it digging deep. I feel like I'm on the left, it really has got me. Since I was the wind, no goodbyes, and you just did again. I'm out in the scheming, right around and dreaming. Once I get the feeling,
The top player is here.
Let me have some fun.
Ready? Then show me.
This will be a good fight.
if you wanna come and stand up to me, pull up on me now. If you wanna challenge, tell me what you wanna call me now. I'm on the road to the top and I'm not looking back. I'm on the road to the top and I'm not looking back. Never back.
6.
Alright, I'm not normally one for fighting games, but let me tell you right now, I'm pretty pumped up for this one, because Street Fighter was one of those fighting games that me and my brother actually played together. We enjoyed, and there was one of the few memories that I have of me and my brother in our younger years actually not fighting each other, because we were fighting each other in a video game. But that's besides the point, we were actually having fun. Honestly, this one looks really cool. I love the trailer, I love the music, I love the hype, and I absolutely love the fact that Ryu as a character has aged. He's not stuck with the Ash conundrum from Pokemon, because he ages, you know, he's not an ageless character. I love seeing that when it comes to video game franchises, or just any franchise in general. Alrighty then, let's move on to the next game, shall we? And the next game that we're going to be talking about is brought to you by Capcom as well, Exo Primal. Now this is a game that I think many people are excited for because it's a third-person shooter. I believe it's going to be based around kind of a looter shooter base, you know, like Warframe and things like that. And you're in robotic suits fighting dinosaurs. I mean, does there need to be anything more said about this game? It's going to be released on July 14th of 2023. Let's check out the trailer for Exo Primal.
Hello, viewers. I am Ivy the android. I'd like to share today's dinosaur forecast. A dinosaur outbreak will soon occur. Residents in the affected area have been evacuated, and a team of exo fighters has been dispatched. A vortex warning has been issued. Please remain indoors.
I make sense of this situation.
You've been living planning to keep the records for 2 years.
All I wanted was to be IBS's top pilot.
IBS's latest dinosaur forecasts and exosuit technology were able to keep human casualties to 0. Exosuit development is proceeding under the guidance of the next-gen AI, Leviathan. Meanwhile, IBS continues to recruit candidates to become new exo-fighters, humanity's greatest hope.
I'm excited. Are you excited? Because I'm excited. I mean, dinosaurs, exosuits, guns, and awesome. I cannot wait to see what this game will be like and to actually be able to play it. I know there are people out there that have done the betas and such, but once this is actually fully released, I'm hoping for the best. Now, I will reserve my excitement as best as I can because, sadly, in the past, looter shooters have been somewhat underwhelming. They have been. Honestly, the only true looter shooters that I have enjoyed wholly and fully was Warframe. Other than that, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. I have high hopes for Capcom being the producer of this game, and with the way that this game looks in the trailer. But then again, trailer isn't everything, right? So let's wait and see, for this game will be released in July 14th of 2023, available on all platforms, and it also will be available on Game Pass. So let's check it out and see what this game will bring us. And let's move on to the next game, shall we? And the next game that we're going to be talking about is Final Fantasy XVI, a game that has been highly anticipated by the RPG gaming community. Brought to you by Square Enix, which will be released on the PlayStation 5 June 22nd of 2023. And this particular game is not a continuation off of any other previous Final Fantasy title. Please do keep that in mind. This one takes place on the world of Visithea, where there are spirits known as Ekon that are prevalent within the world and are sources of power and strength of some kind. The story is quite eclectic and vast and very much so Final Fantasy, if you know what I mean. Definitely interesting as you take place in this story as a character known as Clive Rosefield, guardian of his younger brother Joshua, who watches his entire kingdom be destroyed by the Dark Ekon Ifrit, and you go on a quest of revenge. Let's check out the trailer for this game now.
Take Joshua and get to safety.
I'm not going without you.
I'm going to hold the enemy here while you make your escape.
Your Highness! Run! No!
Clive!
Joshua!
Revenge is a weapon. I sometimes wonder if I am controlling it, or if it's controlling me. How bitter the truth that awaits me, I will press on. Good boy.
What do we do?
The usual. 13 years I've waited for this chance. I won't be dying today.
Come to me, Ifrit!
I am thoroughly excited for this particular game. I cannot wait for its release. I personally won't be able to play it because I don't own a PlayStation 5, sadly. I wish I did. But I will have to watch somebody play it before they release. Hopefully they do release it on other platforms later on in the future. We'll have to wait and see for that. But if anything, I'll get to watch somebody play it, right? I am excited though because I am a big fan of Final Fantasy. I have been since I played my very first Final Fantasy game on the Super Nintendo. I believe it was Final Fantasy 3. And I fell in love with the storytelling and the characters of this series. And I can honestly say that I have been anticipating the next Final Fantasy game since I got a chance to experience Final Fantasy 15. So the voice acting looks on point. The graphics looks pretty amazing, and the story in itself, from the trailer and from what I've read so far, is very interesting. I can't wait to have a chance to experience this, and I'm sure you can't wait either. It will be available to everybody, as I said earlier, June 22nd, 2023 on the PlayStation 5. Hopefully, you will be able to get your hands on it, and you do have a PlayStation 5. Now then, it's on to the next segment! And today's next segment is, of course, the Digimon of the Week. And the Digimon that we're going to be talking about today is Nanimon. Now, this Digimon is actually quite unique, as it is one of the only 2 Invader-type Digimon within the digital world. The only other Invader-type Digimon being Bomber Nanimon, which is a further incorporation and assimilation into the digital world of this particular Digimon, changing its form into Bomber Nanimon. Now, one thing to note is that Bomber Nanimon originally was not a Digimon. No. You know where he came from? He came from a world known as Tamagotchi. That's right. Bomber Nanimon was originally a Tamagotchi known as Oyajichi. And he is, in the Tamagotchi world, known as a grumpy old man that likes to drink and is quite belligerent. Well, when he came to the digital world, Nanimon wasn't much different. He stayed the same, was belligerent, likes to drink, but does try and in some way attempt to be better than what he once was, because he is in a new world. But that is one of the more interesting things when it comes to Bomber Nanimon, as he is one of the few examples, actually many examples, of data from other worlds incorporating into the digital world and assimilating into a Digimon or as part of the digital world itself. Because there are other Digimon that have come from other worlds as well. Bomber Nanimon is just one of those unique examples, as there are no other Invader-type Digimon, and Bomber Nanimon is the only one that came from the Tamagotchi world. And one thing to note as well is that Tamagotchi is actually the franchise that started it all. Digimon is actually an offshoot of Tamagotchi, and was created in the 90s alongside Tamagotchi as a more, in the terminology of the time, boy-friendly toy. That's the reason why they released Digimon. And that's how we got certain crossovers. And it's actually quite interesting, and one of the things that I actually really enjoy about Digimon. I hope you enjoyed this little tidbit about Nanimon and this Digimon of the Week. And now it's on to the next segment. And welcome to the last segment of this podcast, the Journals of a D&D Adventurer. I appreciate you joining me today. And we are reading from the journals of the Gnomish bard Sasha. She writes, "Today we came upon 3 centaur as we journeyed into the forest, searching for the great emerald of the green dragon to prevent the destruction of our kingdom. We found the emerald in the possession of these 3 centaur, and we mused for a time how we would get this back from them. I realized that it was my time to shine, and I put on my most charming face and most sultry voice. As I walked up to these 3 centaur, I looked up at one of them and said, 'Hello there, big boy. Would you like to..." The night proceeded, and the 3 centaur The thrusting was more than I could handle. In the end, after a long, sweaty, hard night, we retrieved the emerald. That's enough of that. Thank you for joining me for another Journals of a D&D Adventurer. The next time I read one of those, you have to proofread that for me. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this particular episode of my Just a Dude podcast. A lot of exciting games coming up. I'm pretty dang excited. Hopefully I'll be able to experience some of them. Who knows? If we do, we'll be able to play them either on my YouTube or on my stream. We'll see. Either way, I appreciate y'all, and please do remember, don't ever forget that you are important. Alright? You are part of this life. You are alive today. And no matter what anybody has said in the past, no matter what you're feeling right now, you are important. And the world is a brighter place because you are here. And I hope you never forget that, my friends. Alrighty then. Thank you for joining me for my Just a Dude podcast. And now it's time to roll credits. Well, that's another video down. Thank you all so much for joining me. I really do appreciate y'all. And of course, if anybody does want to continue to support me and help me in making better quality videos, as well as making my dream of becoming a content creator come true, please do check out the links over here that will show you how you can support me. There's Twitch, there's Patreon, there's these other links on my Linktree, and of course, I appreciate every single one of y'all. Alrighty then, have a great one, the love train, and on through, choo choo. I love every single freaking one of you.